I'm in a bit of a situation here. Locked in. And I'm not alone. What should we do? How do we get out of this room?
A broken collar. The Precal who wore it was also broken by Mireille, and that was before the Prizrak got their claws into him.
You have to go. This goes way beyond you.
Detection and free. Collar malfunction shows delayed signal.
Stay here. I'm coming back for you.
Signor Octavo joins Metamorphosis. Librarian is now preeminent manifesto scholar. I met the librarian this morning. He's a sweet man, with his heart sewn directly onto his adorable little lapel. And I do so admire his passion for literature. In a former life, I would swoon over a well-read man. But I hope for his sake, he learns to bury that part of himself. In here, following your passion is the shortest road to recalibration.
Y390H. I see you're admiring our latest installation.
Why do you keep these books away from us? I can handle them.
Maybe you're right. However, there are others in your class who are not as strong as you. And books like those can make them sick. Would it be fair to let you read them, but keep them from your friends?
That doesn't sound fair.
Well then, so are you saying you would prefer that they read them too? Will you have their illness on your conscience?
I don't want that either.
Of course not. I am not a filter for your ideas, child. I am your shield. There is so much ugliness in this world. Let me stand in the way of it. Let me stare it down. Your eyes are too pretty to witness such things.
I appreciate the compliment, Headmaster.
.390H. You must hurry along now. The rest of your class is already inside.
Why does he hold those books away from us, Senor Octavo?
It is the headmaster's belief that those books sully the minds of pre-cals and should therefore be removed from our curriculum.
But that isn't what you believe, is it?
Books like the world, but they are not meant to. They are not paintings of the world we want. They are mirrors, reflecting the world we have.
Hello. It's Cooper. Good job getting the girl out of immediate danger. You seem to have a solid handle on things. With the arrival approaching, we're being watched more closely than ever, and so I have to pretend to work. However, I'm installing a help desk in your OmniView display. Select the help desk icon if you need my expertise along the way. Good luck tonight. No doubt, the girl would be doomed without you. So the girl wants to find the librarian. I hope he can help her, but I fear she may overestimate his influence inside Metamorphosis. This place is changing, evolving into something even more sinister than its original purpose. In searching for the librarian, remember, you have a map. Use it to check out areas you've visited.
Thanks for getting me out of there. I don't know what that BruisedJinx's intentions were, but I'm glad we didn't stick around to find out. The library's just through these doors. The librarian will help us. He'll show us a way out of here.
You're about to send the girl back through the part of the facility she just escaped from. There may be something for you back here, but I doubt there is anything of use to her.
This may come in handy.
Salinger, amateur sculptor of teenage angst. In Catcher in the Rye, he forces us to watch Holden flit from school to school. Oh, poor Eo, tormented by Hera's gadfly. When Caulfield realizes that he, not the institutions, beleaguer him the most, he is truly at risk. Our beloved pre-cows must never know their gadflies and ever rely on their Republique to satisfy. We don't need another Mark David Chapman.
The library. It feels so quiet after hours. It used to be filled with books. The librarian's glasses. His office is up there, 3rd floor. We should go to him now.
All's quiet here. BruisedJinx checking in.
Going in to pick his pockets. Got it.
Everything looks good.
Pepper spray here.
The librarian's portrait has been taken down. I hope this is only a symbolic gesture.
It's the right thing to do. Librarian okay's decision to protect pre-cals from literary rot.
Do you want me to literally eat my words?
Oh, I am sorry, Miss Sade. I should not have thrown that newspaper at you. But how could you write this? I did not agree to ban books. The very implication hurts me to the bottom of my soul.
Well, I am sorry about your hurt bottom. But I used only direct quotes from you, librarian. See here. You said about Fahrenheit 451, and I quote, "It is worse than distasteful. It is revolting. Your words."
You asked me what I thought about the burning of books, not the book itself.
You did say it, though.
This is insanity! You are shameless.
Then take it up with the overseer. And pick up this mess on your way out.
It seems this door requires Omni Level 2. You can upgrade your OmniView software at a demon server. I'm detecting a demon server near the Overseer's office. The nearest approach is from the museum.
I'll be taking this.
Ah, Ellison, who lets his nameless protagonist vacillate between conforming as an amnesiac of racial disadvantage and recalling all the doors locked by white hands. Belonging versus integrity. This book keeps open and raw such dichotomies, like festering wounds, while preserving an outdated model of social conflict. Invisible man should remain invisible.
Another quiet night. No sign of the breakdown. Can't hide. I've got my post secure. That's strange. I've got my post secure.
Let's see what he's carrying. Nice.
I see you have discovered one of my floppy disks. As a hardcore gamer, I collect many video games. Sadly, My fellow Prizrak torment me by stealing my prized collection. Can you assist the girl in recovering my lost floppy disks? It is not like you have a more important job to do. To get into the headmaster's office upstairs, we will need his PIN code. I don't have it in my files, but we can recover it. We'll need to answer some security questions first.
I hope they can't see me here.
The first draft rumbled from my mind and shook the page like a 9.0 earthquake. The pen was merely the needle on the seismograph, recording the shockwaves.
False prophet infiltrates Metamorphosis. Masquerading as Prizrak, man brings toxic agenda to our perfect garden. The man's name is Zager, I believe. Daniel Marcus Zager. Apparently he was some kind of journalist on the outside. If the overseer was smart, he'd label this as an act of supreme jealousy. After all, ours is a nation so wonderful that people risk death to sneak inside. Maybe we should take the initiative and lead with this angle.
Headmaster, over here.
If it isn't my favorite journalist from the Morning Bell.
It was a brilliant speech, Headmaster.
Why, thank you, Miss Sade.
Please, call me Maddie. Perhaps you could tell your citizens a bit more about the arrival. As much as you can state publicly, of course.
Of course, well, in a matter of weeks, we will take our bow. on the global stage. The Arrival is our world debut, and once it comes to pass, there will be little doubt that though we are a small nation and few in number, we are a force to be reckoned with.
I'm sorry, I had a follow-up, but I just got lost in the power of your voice.
Why, Mattie, please, you embarrass me.
Now, where was I? Oh, right. Your cryptic answers, which I adore, I must add.
Thank you.
But they've left some to speculate that the Arrival refers to our ascension as a nuclear power.
Ah, nuclear power. In the 21st century, nuclear power is a contradiction in terms. Let those dying republics split atoms to their heart's content. No, my dear Mattie, what our Republique achieved is something far more impressive. And the mark we leave on the world will last an eternity.
I'll hold on to this.
You have just found a new battery. What was meant as a warning to Prizrak to be on the lookout for hiding precals is actually a good suggestion for the girl. Ducking behind the plant is a great way to escape detection. Remind the girl to walk slowly. Hurried footsteps will attract the attention of the Prizrak.
Welcome to my domain. Care to purchase new abilities? Spot Prizrak through walls. Sorry to see you go.
This is a replica of the train the headmaster was held prisoner on.
Nothing.
My rations of stale bread and moldy cheese seemed especially cruel as our prison train crossed the Kama River into the foothills of the Ural Mountains. There, we passed one bucolic farm after another, every field dotted with plump Russian black-pied cattle. Never in my life have I felt so bereft. I would have committed the most heinous of crimes to have tasted the rich, salty goodness of their flesh. They forged me a pair of cold, gray leg irons to match the color of my eyes. A decidedly rare trait I believe I inherited from my Ainu mother. Food was bad. The water was worse. Discolored to the point that someone must have dyed it on purpose, and the taste could only be described as septic. Were it not for my robust constitution, I would have succumbed years ago to dementia from all the lead and other heavy metals in that toxic swill. One of the fundamental rights of man. Then a prison train, such as this was, provided an ingenious loophole for my scheming coat of paint on its rotting sides, and even went so far as to give it a rugged and exciting-sounding name, the Siberian Express.
I've got my post secure. Situation.
A PIN code is required to get up to the overseer's office. May I suggest gleaning some personal information about him in his museum next door? It might come in handy when answering any security questions.
Check in.
And though I was born into a world already in progress, with its arcane laws and perverse morality, with a washwoman for a mother and a question mark for a father, I knew that one day I would retire to a country of my own design, free from societal restraint.
Let's see what he's got on him. Got it.
As you can imagine, my job here in Metamorphosis can be pretty stressful. Whenever I need to zone out, I engage my brain with Kami, which is a clever and charming puzzle game. Kami is Japanese for paper. Kami is also Japanese for God. Why do I feel closer to God when I play time-wasting puzzle games? I sure do lead a dynamite life. Part 2 of that game company's journey towards realizing its vision for socially conscious player narratives. In Flower, we embody the wind, guiding a single petal through stunning landscapes. These moments of being one with nature are further punctuated by the drab urban home the player inhabits. This was the best game I played in 2012, but I didn't stop playing it then. I find myself going back to Journey whenever I need a pick-me-up, a reminder that life is a journey, that this world is beautiful, that humanity is good, if given the proper rules to live by.
Nothing to report.
Upon completing the first draft, I delivered it personally to a small publishing house in the capital of France. A minor company I acquired and resurrected to suit my needs. I even went so far as to live in the rickety old apartment above the offices to personally oversee the publishing process.
That's good.
I don't have room for anything else. I can't carry anymore.
Another quiet night. Check in.
We need a screwdriver to open this vent.
Down. It's good.
An old Zager cassette.
I'll find you.
I hope they can't see me here.
Tripped over every pesky regulation in my adopted Japan, I decided to advance my study of genetics in America, and I couldn't have arrived at a more auspicious time in history. Within a year, they had put a man on the moon.
Let's see what's inside the box.
To get into the headmaster's office upstairs, we will need his PIN code. I don't have it in my files, but we can recover it. We'll need to answer some security questions first.
Nothing to report.
Been this way before.
No sign of the pre-cal.
We're getting closer to the headmaster's office. I'll be taking this.
Kafka's Metamorphosis. Best to keep using the German title. Die Verwandlung. We cannot risk cross-contaminating the name of our grand experiment with this simplistic trash. This book portrays the act of transforming one's essence as a vile and isolating experience. Such misinterpretation would burden our children with doubt toward our own ends. Squash this vile bug, librarian.
Why, librarian, you look like you've seen a ghost.
I see many ghosts on these walls. Why would you take pictures with monsters, and worse, display them proudly?
I have sat for pictures with many important people, even people I find disagreeable.
I suspect you mean me. How could you stand beside this man here?
Not a fan of the Generalissimo, are we?
I crossed an ocean to escape Franco's brutality, only to find his brand of fascism had been imported to Argentina.
Well, I can't speak to that, but I will say I found our meeting quite pleasant. He was an excellent conversationalist, and his taste in wine impeccable.
Clear. Sounds good.
I hope they can't see me here.
Everything looks good. Nothing.
A Zager cassette.
Welcome to my domain. What would you like? Come back anytime.
Another quiet night.
We owe a debt of gratitude to those giants whose shoulders we've stood upon. The earlier they lived, the larger their stature, and so the greater our debt. While the 20s roared in America, they screamed like a Siberian windstorm in Vladimir's hometown of Simbirsk. A controversial man of the people, he was surely. And the fact that he spent time in political exile makes him that much more admirable, in my estimation. Plato's keen eyes peered further into the future than any of his Grecian contemporaries. He was, and will remain, the most vocal supporter of the classic Republic, and its earliest. His detractors would call him an opportunist, and they would be right. But Yataro Iwasaki was given nothing less than the modest opportunity to bring an entire nation into the modern age, and he succeeded. The nerve of him. A personal favorite. For those who would criticize him for his monopolistic tendencies in the early 20s, from the rooftops, or, barring that, hop online and voice your disdain in a chat forum. He would appreciate the irony. The father of Europe was besieged from all sides by pagan tyranny, and then in the year 800 he did a most remarkable thing. He held the hands of secularism and religion and married them together in what would later be called the Renaissance. Her death in 1952 was a tragedy, not just for the Argentine shirtless who idolized her, but for the anti-Peronists who celebrated her demise. Christ had a similarly divided populace to contend with, and like Eva, succumbed to sacrifice at the age of 33. It is difficult to write a story as it unfolds, but to wait until it's finished is to risk butchering the telling of it. I would rather strain the wrists of those taking my dictation than cause even a modicum of butchery.
The statue's already activated. That statue didn't light up. Something's wrong. I didn't make that statue light up. Something's wrong.
We owe a debt of gratitude to those giants whose shoulders we've stood upon. The earlier they lived, the larger their stature, and so the greater our debt.
That statue didn't light up. This statue's already activated. This statue's already activated.
Plate! I didn't make that statue light up. Something's wrong. That statue didn't light up. Something's wrong. A new statue lit up. What's next? We have to start over. A new statue lit up. Statue lit up. I think we did something right.
to start over. Worked. What's next? A new statue lit up. It worked. What's next? The statue lit up. I think we did something right. A new statue lit up. You've solved it. You're a natural at puzzles. A new taser. Headmaster's office.
remember being here as a young girl. At least I think I was.
How's the weather in your corner of the world?
What if I tell you, you're going to try to guess my location?
No, I've about given up on that. It's been insufferably hot in D.C.
Then why are we meeting here?
I'm sorry?
Why not do this on the
isn't built yet.
What? I was told construction began a month after the attack.
This is the U.S. government you're talking about. Maybe you've heard of us. Our contractors get paid twice as much to take twice as long.
Unbelievable.
Right this way, sir. Watch your step. Please, sit. Coffee?
I want a whistleblower.
Coffee?
I'm serious.
We can talk about that.
We're going to have to talk about that. If you want to hand the reins to someone who won't let the horse forget who's in charge.
I'm afraid I don't follow you.
That's your problem. You've got too many leaders and not enough followers. You should be following me. All of you should.
Okay, let's table that for a second. Say we get you a plant, and this plant blows his whistle in the year.
Or 2 months.
Or whenever. They're still not about to dismantle their entire surveillance infrastructure over some bad press.
I'm afraid you're right. This is where I need your help, Vice Admiral. If you get me on board and in command, then it won't matter how red their faces turn, or if they turn red at all. They won't have to privatize under pressure either. I'll already hold the reins. But we'll give it a name. Carnival. The Arrival. It doesn't matter. And we'll play-act our way into the driver's seat.
I can't even imagine.
Leave imagination to me.
Unqualified disaster. And on the eve of the arrival, no less.
Everything is fine, sir.
Fine? You were assaulted by a Prizrak. And you let altered copies of the manifesto reach the
I
children.
have the situation under control.
I'm beginning to think your definition of control is different than mine. They don't respect you because you don't wear the uniform. It's a weakness. It puts you at risk. This is an historic night for us. There can be no room for error.
I understand.
Then you understand why Derringer will lead the arrival.
What?
I'm sorry, my dear. We all appreciate the fine work you do with the kids. But you lost sight of what's most important. Protecting me.
So, I can lead the arrival.
Murray, you speak the language of diplomacy. Derringer speaks the truth. Truth hurts. This isn't a dismissal. Derringer will still need your help when we get reset.
Yes, sir. The mentor is an asset to our cause. I look forward to hearing her ideas going forward.
Watch your step.
She's weak.
I hope that's all it is. Where was Murray when the Prizrak attacked her?
The section, outside the library. I'll look into it.
It's hard to know who to trust these days. It seems we're running a loyalty deficit around here. I don't mean you, Quinn, of course. I know I can trust you. Wait. I never forgot this before. Must be old age.
No chance, sir. You just got a lot on your mind tonight.
Quite so. Come, young man, let's get to the surface.
It sounds like that door leads to the surface.
Master faces swift reprimand. Mireille Prideaux found with contraband. Overseer, none of us are above the law.
Miss Sade, it has been a pleasure speaking to you, but I must get up early tomorrow.
Look, I'm turning off my tape recorder. This is no longer an interview. We're just two people talking. Perhaps one more glass?
A short one, then.
Where do you get the wine from? I thought we weren't allowed contraband from the outside world.
Off the record? I have been here long enough. I am allowed certain liberties.
You receive special treatment?
I know how big my cage is. At the end of the day, we are all equally inferior in the eyes of the Overseer. Don't you dare print that, Miss Sade.
I promise. Strictly off the record.
You just acquired a fingerprint from that glass. Normally, the Overseer wouldn't be so careless as to leave a usable print. But recently, in celebration of Zager's capture, the big man poured himself a stiff drink, and for a moment, let his guard down. Those pristine white gloves came off, and he was one of us for a day.
Gentlemen, I wish to resign. This is grossly inappropriate.
Inappropriate?
You are burning books. I have seen it with my own eyes. The books I procured for you.
Each book has been scanned into our servers and is now part of our digital catalog. You're merely hung up on nostalgia.
You are erasing history.
These books are my property now. I can do with them as I please.
No. I cannot be a party to this. I wish to leave immediately.
First you want to resign, now you want to leave?
I assume the implication was apparent.
You're not going anywhere.
You cannot keep me here against my will.
In fact, I can. You, like the books, are now property of the state. You will continue to fulfill your obligations to the precals until I decide what to do with you.
I have a few suggestions, sir.
Librarian, may I come in?
Ah, Headmaster, welcome. Ay, Dios mío, who is this fierce creature?
It's an Ainu owl, Librarian. My ancestors carved these from the amber trunks of Japanese spindle trees. I want you to have this one. Modest housewarming gift, nothing more.
Well, muchas gracias, señor. It's a handsome piece. I shall place it here on this shelf.
No. Lend it a bit more prominence. It's meant to be set out in the open.
Ah.
This way it can bring you luck.
Well, it's...
The eyes. Yes. They are a touch piercing. But that's the idea, you see. The owl is ever watchful. He will protect you day and night.
Ah, yes, well, it's truly, how can I put...
Oh, you're welcome.
You now have what you need to access the librarian's office. I know the girl is anxious to find him. The overseer runs this library like a wild animal preserve. Look, but don't touch.
All's quiet here. Over there. Subject on the move. I'm on my way. Raise the threat level.
Oh no, Brizrak. And he's me.
The damn door is stuck. I'm locked down. Lost track of the girl. Back to normal.
This might come in handy.
Illustrating in pointless detail one's sexual perversion does not make for good writing. Miller's Tropic of Cancer is about as sexy as cancer itself. Our beloved precals must never suffer the caustic eruptions of desire this book desires to make possible. Like Innocence Lost, circulated contraband cannot be totally retrieved, but it may be tended when we...
Check in.
I hope they can't see me here.
It's quiet tonight.
The girl is no doubt anxious to see the librarian. You now have what you need to access the librarian's office. I suggest you return to the library. His office door is located on the second floor.
Quiet tonight.
Let's go for the steal. He's not carrying anything. I hope they can't see me here.
That's strange. Everything looks good. Nothing going.
Prizrak. They see me.
He's just up these stairs.
Librarian! Librarian! Senor Octavo? Librarian! Oh no!
Making it up. Stop it. It's okay.
The girl activated a video that appears to have been recorded only moments ago. I presume it relates to the dead librarian. It's important that we determine what happened. However, she's not accustomed to witnessing violence. It's difficult to anticipate how it will affect her.
Senor Octavo, just the man I want to see.
Hello, Derringer. To what do I owe this pleasure?
Good book.
It is a classic.
Not just a classic. I mean, it's actually good.
How can I help you?
Why does this guy, Edmond Dantes?
Dante.
Dante, right. Why does this guy tell Maximilian that his girl is dead?
For revenge.
No, Maximilian's his friend.
Yes, you are. You're right, of course.
Damn it, man. You have read this, haven't you?
Of course, yes. I'm exposed to tragedy.
Can't know hope without despair.
I believe that is it, yes.
Kind of like the pre-cows. They don't know up from down, good from bad. They got no perspective because they don't have a clue about the outside. Or do they?
This is an intriguing intellectual exercise, Derringer, but it is late and I...
Why'd you give the kids the Poison Manifesto?
I did not.
What do you do in that hidden room downstairs?
What room?
Think we can't hear that god-awful music bleeding through the walls?
I just read and...
Reading Sega's trash!
I have seen it, yes, but I would never act on it.
Spying against us.
No.
You were planning to help the children escape.
No, Derringer,
Where the hell do you think you're going?
I can't watch this anymore.
Senor Octavo?
Un momento. Buenos dias.
You Senor Octavo?
Sí, I am Luis Octavo, yes.
My name's Quinn Derringer. My employer contacted you.
Yes, of course. The mystery man who pays me twice what I ask. Did he receive the books yet?
He did. And he thanks you. He'd like to thank you personally.
Of course. Tell him to come in at any time.
He's not in Buenos Aires. Is your passport in order?
My passport? What is this about?
My employer has some more work for you.
Mystery man? What sort of work?
That's the mystery.
Well, where would I go? Oh, impossible. I cannot close my shop.
My employer thinks you can. He'll pay whatever you ask.
He doesn't even know my price.
But he knows you have one. You got a number in your head, senor?
I do.
Good. Double it. Where's your passport at?
Oh, no. Wait a minute. How long will I be gone?
Just a few days. I promise.
Trouble, Weep.
No, we're not. He would never turn us over to Mireille.
He might if he caught us smoking his cigarettes.
Don't drag on it so long.
How do you know about this stuff?
I read a book.
One of Senor Octavo's books?
No, it was the manifesto. He has a whole chapter dedicated to smoking.
You're making fun of me.
What the hell's up with that bird?
I don't know if I agree with your decision to show the girl that horrifying video. Still, maybe it's best she knows the whole truth.
I can't look at him laying there. Please, let's just get what we need from up here and leave. I'll be taking this.
Ah, Ellison, Kafka's Metamorph.
A Zager cassette.
Place is quiet. No sign of the girl.
Dear Senor Octavo, thank you so very much for giving me a copy of Labyrinths by Borgia. Each of the stories was fascinating. I especially enjoyed the one called The Library of Babel. It made me think of you, surrounded by all those books, overwhelmed with the infinite number of ideas they contain, and left wondering which books contain the truth and which are false. Is it true you knew Borgia and discussed literature with him? If so, I am positively envious. Thank you again for the stimulating read. Your friend, 390H. This may come in handy.
Paine is best read as a comedian librarian. For Paine, constitutions come from rights, charters create chaos, and monarchs require oversight against corruption from all whose interests fall short of the state's well-being. We are beyond constitutions, charters, even monarchs. We are communication itself. These so-called rights of man must not radicalize anyone into thinking otherwise.
I'll find you. No sign of the pre-cal. Another quiet night. What have you got? Another quiet night.
There's music coming from behind the first floor bookcase. Derringer accused the librarian of having a secret room. Could it be behind the bookcase?
Taser.
Huh?
Unhand me. Prisrack left some items behind.
A retro styling of the horror genre. You wake up in a strange house with no memory of how you got there. More troubling, you quickly discover a dead body nearby, and clues in the room seem to implicate you. The end is rather controversial, but I thought it was excellent. A word of warning. Home is scary, so keep a change of pants nearby.
What's yours is mine.
Place is quiet.
Make a wish. But don't tell me what it is, or it won't come true.
I wish the headmaster was dead.
Weep. Don't talk like that.
Zager said that someday the truth will rain down on this place and wash away all of the headmaster's lies.
I've never seen the rain before.
Zager wasn't talking about the rain. He was talking about the truth.
I don't care about the truth. I just want to know what rain feels like.
Nothing going. Everything looks good. NTR.
Going in for the steal. He's got me.
Burning!
I'll hold on to this.
Ah, yes. Ayn Rand, the bulldozer. She dramatized the struggle for individualism against leeches. In reality, she abandoned such notions the minute they interfered with her own desires. They were socialist figments, in any case, librarian, not the true power structures that shape our lives. I'm afraid the fountainhead cannot flow, stopped up with so much hypocrisy.
Better raise the threat level.
This is no mere piece of paper. It is an escape plan. A blueprint for a key, a master key, capable of unlocking any number of doors inside this facility. But that is not all. In the garden, there is a gate to the outside world, a gate to freedom. This key, I am told, will unlock that gate.
This may come in handy.
But Senior Octavo...
Shh. Un momento. Go ahead, 933W.
You can't stay here.
I'm too old to be tilting at windmills.
But you don't know what the headmaster is capable of.
Sadly, I know all too well. History abounds with men like the Overseer.
He will kill you. Recalibrate you.
Were I 30 years younger, things would be different. I would hew to the line that Zager has drawn. But today, I am merely an old academic with failing eyesight. I doubt I can even see the line.
I'll come back for you. For all of you.
Why, 933W, I find your compassion extraordinary.
Call me Weep. I'm not a number anymore.
A blueprint of the Overseer's master key. The librarian suggested this key is required to escape from the facility. I know of a 3D printer located in archives. With this blueprint, the girl can manufacture a key.
Zager's silence deafening. The notorious terrorist is quiet, scheming. The arrival is just weeks away, and public enemy number 1 has gone radio silent. If the headmaster, or overseer, or whatever name he goes by these days, plans to take a bow on the world stage, he can't have a phantom hiding in the wings ready to sabotage his big production. I shouldn't complain. It's going to be one hell of a show.
Let's go for the steal. Nice. Oh no, Prisrak. And he sees me. Unhand me. Get your grubby mitts off me! Going in to pick his pockets. I got something. I'll check his pockets.
Sound Shapes' mesmerizing fusion of platforming visuals and hip music is super cool. But its true value is revealed when you want to impress the people around you. Load this baby up, act like you don't care about anything, and shrug a lot. You'll then be the coolest cat in the room, guaranteed.
They won't find me in here.
Threat level normalized. NTR.
P0.
Bring up the threat level.
Zager cassette. strange-looking machine. I wonder if this is what the blueprint's for. Is there a way to turn it back on? Now I think we need to configure the blueprint. This key's identical to the one the headmaster used in his office. Let's go there now.
The girl has the key. Let's get her to the surface. Head back to the overseer's office.
All's quiet here.
Derringer and the headmaster went this way to the surface.
It's been a long time since I allowed someone to speak to me this way, librarian.
I will not shy away from telling you what I see. You are the dark ruler of this world, Overseer.
This isn't a world, yet. Merely a small corner of it. And the darkness you perceive persists only because you refuse to open your eyes. Now, if you will excuse me, I must tend to more pressing matters in the terminus. You don't have access to this part of the complex, so I will bid you farewell. Unless... would you care to see what we've been working on?
Not in the least. It is unreal to me. If I cannot hold it in my hands and smell the history in its pages, it is not there, Aaron. But I do know fascism when I see it. I am well versed in the struggles against it. And I know that you will ultimately fail, as all fascists have failed.
Watch your step.
I will not! You must know this. You're nearly as old as me, but still so naive in the ways of the world. Control is illusory, Overseer. Your network, whatever you call it, I call it a trap. It will not catch everyone. And the ones who slip through it will regroup and stand against you someday. You think because of your fancy computers and your expensive surveillance that you can succeed with those who rose to power in the 20th century failed? You are naive. Control is a lie.
Control is the linchpin of a safe society. We fall apart without it. Now, as you can't seem to control your own emotions, Librarian, I'm confident you don't recognize a need for control in society. Good day, sir.
There's an elevator on the other side of the atrium. It's probably the girl's best chance for getting to the surface.
An elevator. It must lead to the way out. So many buttons. The ninth floor. The top. The surface. No, stop it. Can you do something here?
I've been looking for you.
No!
Calm down. Calm down, or I'll have to tase you.
Help! Help!
Citizens of Metamorphosis, words fail me tonight. I cannot rightfully describe the bleak, chasmal longing that echoes through my heart. Our beloved librarian, Senor Luis Octavo, has passed away. Derringer paid him a visit earlier this evening, hoping to discuss his exciting new role as cultural attaché. Instead, he found the Senor lying prone on his office floor, his heart failing. Ever valiant, Derringer sprang into action. He tried desperately to save the poor man. Sadly, it was too late. The librarian succumbed to the great unknown, cradled in Derringer's arms. But in a final act of appreciation, his words, his last words, as he looked up at Derringer, were, "Thank you." As I'm sure has been reported, Senor Octavo and I did not always see eye to eye. Still, I made it a point to listen to his thoughtful and honest assessments of our fair Republique. He was especially critical of our prized surveillance infrastructure. I regret that I wasn't ever able to persuade him of its importance. I learned at an early age to never speak ill of the dead. I must hold my tongue now. But I will say this, for it pains me too greatly to keep it to myself. Had our security been more robust, Luis Octavo would still be alive. A camera is an asset to our superior way of life. But what use is a camera without a good pair of eyes to monitor the feed? Had someone seen the librarian collapse, they could have reached him in time. I am confident the arrival will help improve security in the future, and thus assure us greater safety going forward. Thank you for listening. And good night, librarian. We mourn your loss, but we celebrate your life with an equal passion.